Hey, what's going on? It's Graham, the Guerrilla Gamer. Thanks for stopping back by. This time, I'm going to do a couple of video responses. The first one is going to be from my buddy Cliff over at ThrowBack Gaming, and his video response was collecting goals. So I'm going to do that one first, and then second, I'm going to do a video response to my buddy NintenJoel. And he has, in that one, the topic is video game franchises that you've ignored. So let's get started with the first one. Cliff, of course, like I just said, he did a video response tag video for collecting goals, and I'd like to talk about that. Well, number one, I'd say my first collecting goal is to collect all 20th Century Fox Atari games, like Megaforce or MASH. I got those recently, but I want to get all of them. I'm a big fan of them, you know, Turmoil, and there's just so many. They were quality games. I'm looking forward to getting all of these. Flash Gordon was another one that I'm going to get. But they come out with a bunch of really, really good quality Atari games, Atari 2600 games. I'm sure there's some of you dipshits out there that are going, yeah, Atari sucks. I'm sure they had some great games. Yeah, I'm sure. They did, dumbass. They had really good games. If you don't believe me, quit talking nonsense and go take a look at these games, all right? Go take a look at Megaforce. Go watch the movie, for the love of shit. Second goal is to collect every Data East Nintendo game that I can. Here's Captain America and the Avengers, which is an awesome Data East game. And this one that I'm holding upside down like a big retard is Werewolf. What is it? Werewolf, The Last Warrior. These are just a couple that I picked up. I've got quite a few Data East games, but I am just, Data East, if I seen that on a cartridge or when you booted up a cartridge back in the day and it said Data East, I was instantly in love with that company. I loved every game they had. There's just something about it. So I'm looking forward to getting all these. Number 3 of my goals is going to be to beef up my Sega Saturn collection, right? I just don't run across them that often in the wild. The last time I did, I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them for like $5 on a guy on Craigslist. So, but that was like the first time in 5 years that that's happened. But I was able to jump my collection from like 10 and 15 up to like 25. So I think I have 25 Saturn games. None are that great. I do have some pretty good ones, you know, like Clockwork Knight and you know, Blazing Dragons, the Die Hard trilogy, Die Hard Arcade, what's that, X-Men and the Children of the Atom. A lot of good games, but there's so many more that I want to get, and I want to get an action replay so I can play the imported games and all that good stuff. So those right there are my collecting goals for 2017. I want to get more 20th Century Fox Atari 2600 games. You haters can go eat a bowl of dicks. Data East NES games, you know what? Pretty much any Data East game, you know, retro game. I love them. And Saturn stuff. More Sega Saturn stuff. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people always give me crap about Atari 2600. So, just busting balls. But anyway, let's get on to the second video response, all right? Let's get going. Thanks again, Cliff, for tagging me in that one. But those are my goals, brother. All right, let's get on to NintenJoel's right now. Alright, this video response is from NintenJoel. He tagged me in this video not too long ago, and it is some franchises that you've ignored, some video game franchises that you've ignored. And, you know, you might own them, you might not even have a good enough reason for ignoring them. But I've got a few, and I can kind of explain why. But it was really hard for me to choose these. Why? Because I usually give every game a really good solid chance, and I want to like every game, I really do. Some people, I find, they're quite the opposite. They want to hate every game, and every good game is a rarity, so they appreciate it more. Well, I'm kind of the opposite. I try to appreciate every game. I don't know, I try to find something good about it, you know? I don't know, that's my flaw as a human, I guess. But here are a couple of franchises that I just couldn't get into. This one, I was able to get into it later. The more of the anime I watched, the more I kind of dug the franchise, and that is Dragon Ball Z. This is Dragon Ball Z Saga, but I've got all of the Dragon Ball Zs, Tenichi, Budokai, all of those. And I was slow getting into those. Those were tough for me. Then a franchise that was really hard for me to get into, and I did eventually, but later into it, on the PlayStation 3, I started to get more into the Metal Gear Solid series. See, I played Metal Gear back when it was on the Nintendo, and I beat it. I spent one summer in 1987, and I beat it, and I loved it. Then, years later, for the PlayStation 1, Metal Gear Solid came out, and it was such a far departure from what I was expecting from the Metal Gear for the Nintendo. So, I really shunned it for a long time. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, I own them all, but I just never really gave them a fair shot. I'm going to go back and I'm going to play them all, and I want to give them a fair shot up to 4. But I really liked Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, and Phantom Pain. So those got me into it, but I ignored the hell out of this franchise. All because of, well, Metal Gear, the first one for the NES, and then there was Snake's Revenge. After that first Metal Gear, and, you know, I wasn't a big fan of Snake's Revenge. But, then lastly, this franchise, I still can't get behind this one. And I tried, and it's just because it is so complicated to me. And that's all. It's a good game. I really enjoy the graphics, the visual, and the techniques, all the technical abilities. But that is for SOCOM. You know, I've got SOCOM 1, 2, and 3 here. I've never opened them, and they're pretty much brand new. I mean, I've opened them and I've played them a little bit, but I've never really given them a fair shake that I thought. And I'm going to go back and do that, but we'll see. Yeah, so SOCOM. So anyway, NintenJoel, those are mine. Dragon Ball Z, Metal Gear Solid, and SOCOM. So anyway, thanks, man. Thanks for tagging me. Sorry I was a little late on this, but better late than never, says the latest dickhead. All right, anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm Will, the Guerrilla Gamer. Lates.